We are Aadil, Arshdeep, Jason, and Napoleon, the team behind JobHunter.ai. We took the stress and time-consuming aspects of job hunting and turned it into a smart and empowering experience. JobHunter.ai is a platform that helps users customize their resumes, find jobs instantly, and generate tailored cover data. Our project combines real job data and AI innovation to create a tool that helps people with their careers. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Arshdeep Kaur, and for this project, my main goal was to implement the job search and matching algorithm. So here I have a little screenshot of the search tab with the filters right here, and then the potential matching score. Here's a little curl test. So a potential a resume from the user, the extracted skills, description, and then here the comparison is made. So these are the math skills, and then the potential generated score.
One of the main features that we had on our project is being able to upload your resume and then having the skills, education, and different other sections of your resume be parsed out in preparation for that information to go to the LLM for processing. Another major feature of our project is getting the cover letter generation working. This certain feature uses the resume information and combines it with the job description to create a cover letter based on a predefined prompt. And once you click that cover letter button, it'll automatically generate that cover letter for you. That way, you can either copy it to your clipboard or download it as a text file. In terms of development, my part was mainly focused on getting the backend completed for the resume upload, the resume parsing, and then the cover letter generation as well. Once I got the cover letter generation completed, I helped integrate everything into whole flow with Gemini 2.5 Flash API, and this helped to create those tailored cover letters so that it can be used for applying for jobs. In terms of technology, we chose Gemini because it was easy to work with and it came with generous free rate limits, which made development smooth. React and Flask are widely used in the industry, so that's why we chose it as a choice for our web stack. And then MySQL was familiar to us based on our previous database coursework. So that's why we were comfortable using it for our schemas and queries. Vite was suggested by one of my teammates, and it turned out to be good for hosting and bundling on the front end. So we ended up using it for that. In terms of steps in our development, we implemented the job search functionality, then we built the backend logic to parse and store resume data, and then after that, connected those results to our job matching. Once the job data and resume data were flowing correctly, we integrated the AI cover letter generation using Gemini and then connected everything together into the final UI so that users can interact with it. In the original plan, we hoped to add features like AI generated job summaries, resume improvement suggestions, and alternative career path recommendations, but those didn't make it due to time constraints. We also ended up using Gemini instead of Llama for AI because it was easier to integrate, and we ended up finding out that the rate limits were more generous, so that's why we switched over to that. So the main challenge initially was that our tasks were too vague. So we ended up trying to break those down into more specific items so that everyone could understand what they were doing. In addition, in the beginning, we designated each person to run a specific discipline. So one person for the machine learning, one person for the back end, one person front end, and one for the database. But we found that it slowed us down. So we ended up just working across all the different disciplines per person instead of saying the strict rules, which helped us get stuff done quicker. This project, I learned a lot. It was my first time building a full project without structured guidance. So I learned how to plan tasks as a team and then coordinate those responsibilities out with other team members. I became more comfortable with using React and using Flask. I also got familiar with Git by having to push, pull, handle branches and review changes. And then in the end, I ultimately learned the realities of full stack development, which is more difficult than I had expected.
As I said, my main goal was to implement the job search function using Aadil API and then a deterministic matching algorithm, which compared the job listing and then the user's resume. I use Byte and React because it's easy to use during development, and React helped us build dynamic interactive pages for enhanced user experience. I used MySQL because I was familiar with it from previous work, Flask because it's lightweight and good for our purposes, and then Adzilla because it was free. During development, we first created a mockup, and then based on that, we created the React files. I implemented the job fetching functions using Adzuna and then connected the external Adzuna job IDs to our job IDs for our database. And then I implemented the matching algorithm. Originally, I had wanted to create the matching algorithm using AI, but because of the amount of job listings, the rate of AI usage would have exceeded our limits. So I had to create it deterministically, which presented some problems because the ads and the descriptions for the jobs are incredibly short, so they may not always contain the skill keywords I was looking for. So I went over several ideas before I created a JSON file with job fields and their potential keywords associated with them, and then compared those to the job description, which produced a loosely weighted matching score. I learned how to connect the back end and the front end using this project and how they interacted, making use of APIs, and then also using being more comfortable using Git. So here I have a little example. So this is for a software developer job. I can see that the filters are working, and then if there are no jobs, you get a little banner, but yes, and it should work. And and then here is the potential score as well. So, and there's also our sorting tab.
Hi, my name is Napoleon Foatobang. On the Job Hunter.ai project, I worked on the back end where I implemented the save jobs, the apply jobs, the user profile endpoints. I also have the job listing persistence. I connected the back end to the machine learning microservices for resume parsing. I performed the security sweep, created a unit test, and let's go to our next point. The technologies I use, Flask for sure. It's lightweight, it's flexible, and it was ideal for building the REST APIs and also connecting to the microservices. I also use MySQL for database. It supports a relational structure, and it was easy for the job listings, the self apply jobs, and also indexing helps improve performance. We use Postman. That was great at fast API testing and also validating during development. And the steps in development first started by creating the database, with the job listings, the save jobs, apply jobs, then uh, implemented the CRUD endpoints. I also integrated the back end with the machine learning microservice for resume parsing and recommendations. Then added the user profile endpoints and testing routes. Okay. The original plan was just to have like simple, CRUD for jobs, but it later expanded to to full machine learning integration for resume parsing and the recommendation engine. Also had to expand the backend responsibilities to include authentication, cause fixes, and the security cleanup. Some of the challenges I encountered, I think the major challenge was just conflicts on the backend branches, but we're able to resolve that by cleaning up our PRs and syncing with main regularly. Lesson learned here, I think biggest one for me was mainly learn how to plan and design scalable backend systems, and I gained valuable experience in integrating AI microservice with production ready backend. Okay.
Right. Our platform Job Hunter AI will be publicly accessible and remain free to use for any users we might have in the future. Since we employ the use of free hosting services and free APIs, it helps to ensure that the platform will be able to run without any cost to anyone in the future. We as the creators plan to make use of the platform for any employment purposes we might have, and we will also retain ownership of the Git repo. And if we want to make any changes in the future, we are allowed to do so at any given time.